Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Allison.
morning.
How are you all?
Very
Good.
good.
Are we it?
So far, we're getting it started here. Let's see. There was a message from, we're just getting set up now. Okay.
Kathy?
Hey, good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
If this were a normal annual meeting, would there be breakfast and people milling around?
No, the
Oh, there would be lunch.
lunch, and
Oh.
I'm missing that. I know. I was sitting here thinking of pulled pork, quiche.
Oh, that's nice to hear and good to think about. Maybe next year we'll get back to
Be
that.
there.
I imagine so.
Yep.
That would be nice.
No, it's a long haul, isn't it?
It is. And you think we're getting there, and we're getting there, but then all of a
We
sudden your mind starts thinking, but we're not there yet. And there's a lot of anxiety still going on, even though we're.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like.
And it's good we didn't know at the front end that it would be more than a year,
Right.
You need to take it in bits because it's a lot.
I think that's the other thing for me. It's going to be March really soon, and it's like it's a year. It's but okay.
A whole year, your life has been disrupted.
Exactly.
I thought it was interesting when Dr. Fauci said we should be close to normal by September.
And
He
that's
didn't say normal, he said close.
Yeah. No,
and it's a new normal.
Yeah.
But then when I take a step back, I'm like, yes, but they developed a vaccine in 10 months.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's incredible.
A miracle,
Oh yeah. When you do what you're doing, and then you get back to it. This is good, but yeah, it's that ebb and flow of. We'll get there. And
Yeah.
the other good thing is it's brighter in the morning when I wake up now. Every
That's
morning.
right. That's right.
Yes.
Spring is coming.
Spring is coming.
Yes. And then we can I was going to say, and then we can get outside a little bit more, which is always
Yeah.
refreshing for us, I think, is
Exactly.
just be able to get out and
Mhm.
see something, overlook the Hudson or go into the woods or whatever. But
Mhm.
we thought about doing something yesterday, but it was a little bit breezy.
Oh, did it
It
get
was
breezy?
cold. Yeah.
Yes, Jonathan and Candace are selling their house, so we were moving some stuff, and he originally said, "Do you think it's warm enough to take the baby out?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." By the afternoon, I'm like, "Nope. My hands through my gloves were cold." Yeah,
Yeah.
that wind got a little raw out there.
Yeah.
They didn't take her out.
It sort of reminds me of, being a teenager. I grew up in Virginia, but in those days, 30 miles from DC, but in those days it was still pretty rural because there was really nothing to do. So you sort of invented fun, but I've sort of rediscovered the joy of joyriding. Just
Yes.
go in the car and drive
Yeah.
around. Turns out that's really fun. I just haven't had time to do it for a long
Sunday joyrides. That's right.
Yeah,
My
we
father
do
would
that
throw
once
us
or
all in
twice
the
a week.
car. Yep. And we didn't know where we were ending up. We were going for a joyride.
Yep, we do that.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's a joyride, more like a Sunday drive.
Yes, that's right. It's a little more tame than probably when
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh dear.
So I should have run down to church to get the 44 pages because all I printed was my report, but I've got it on the phone. I hope we don't have to refer to it too much.
Well, I have it somewhere here.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna
not
bring it up on
written.
my phone if we need
Well,
it.
that's a good idea. Let me do that.
I could bring it up on one of the other computers here, but I moved this to have a better background than the normal stuff I'm usually sitting in front of.
that looks
And just
very
for all you friends, because you're gonna laugh, I have to say it. I have a dress on, but I don't have any pantyhose or this or that on. You're just looking from the top. I feel like everybody else that does this.
I know.
Like,
I
I
have
haven't
my
put this-
furry slippers on.
I do too. I think I got them on.
Yeah. I went down to Stewart's to get the paper today and I had my slippers on when I went down. So
See, normally I go to work every day, so this is my first time doing this. Let's see. Oh, Larry's not going to be attending. Okay, that's fine. Let me find my.
Here comes Evelyn. Okay. People are beginning to come in.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see.
Right there it is, right up the top.
There it
Yep.
is. Okay, I got my annual report too, if I need it.
Okay, there you go.
And
Good
in
idea.
front of you, can you see the other people?
Hmm? Oh, this is gallery
Okay,
view, Bill.
okay.
We have 14 participants.
Hmm.
Hello. Oop, there's.
Could do gallery view, right?
We have 13 participants.
Oh, wow.
I have.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So Linda, you're going to be able to see the people or just the name or the number? I mean, will you know who?
Well, there's an inherent difficulty in this, I believe. I have, of course, the number down at the bottom of my screen under the participants.
Yep, I see that.
I'm up to 16.
Yep.
But here, I'm sitting here and Bill's sitting next to me. That's two of us, even
Oh, right.
though.
Right.
So I think as long as we have a quorum, which we do, that's
Okay.
as
I
best.
think Evelyn just said she can hear us.
Yeah.
And Joe is
But
here as
can't
well.
see us because of the
Okay.
webinar. So yeah. Hi Joe. Hi Evelyn.
Yep. Hi, Joe. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi Emma.
And I saw Emma.
Hello. Am I supposed to be as a panelist or am I supposed to be not a panelist?
I think you're supposed to be a panelist because you're presenting. Hold on. Hello.
See, it says over here, there are 5 panelists on
Mhm.
and 10 attendees. Oop, I just hit the wrong thing.
Kayla.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
Abby.
Abby.
Good morning.
Oh, hi,
Morning.
Abby.
Good morning.
Abby. Hello.
Hi. So are there more people here that just we can't see them?
That's right. We're an official webinar now. We're stepping up our game.
I see. Hi,
And
everyone.
Heather just asked a question, but Heather, we know you're on. We just can't hear you. Yep, somebody answered her. Okay.
Oh, good. Right.
There you go.
All right.
So the numbers are growing. You're up to what, 17 or 18?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a nice background picture Abby has. I like that.
Mm. Yeah, she's swatting back and forth.
Yeah, well, it's when I have to do awkward adjustments and I do not know how many people are watching me on the screen. But I'm pretty sure that picture is the Hudson River when I went kayaking with Allison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything exciting
It
like
was-
that behind you.
Well,
Well, when she
There you go.
turned off her video, that her background is then.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got it.
So we love Zoom in one way because during church, Abby, people's cats and dogs come and they wander on and participate. So it's always St. Francis Day online.
Oh, I did close my door because I said to the dogs who followed me in, no barking. So you still might hear them on the other side, but you're right. Animals come wandering through.
Our dog is staring at us right now. So she's attending also. I don't know if she gets to count or not, but. So all should be well unless she sees a squirrel. And if
Right.
that's the case,
Yeah, all bets are off.
I'll have to mute us.
During the prayers, Beth's cat got hungry and she was like giving a loud prayer for some food. It was nice. Yeah. Abby, how's everything with you?
I mean, other than moving from Millerton to Manhattan during a pandemic, everything's wonderful.
Hi,
Wow.
Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Allison, while we have just a minute to chat.
There's
the
other people though
Hillary-
that can hear us, right? Can
Mhm.
everybody
Yeah.
hear us or no?
Is the Hillary on our prayer list Hillary Blair?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, goody.
You know the Blairs.
Oh, very well and so sad.
I didn't realize that you knew them, Mari.
Oh, yeah, we were really very good friends when we were at Christ the King.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to read the annual report on your iPhone.
Yes, it is. And mine just timed out, so I have to put it back on. There it is. I just want to follow the agenda, really.
Emma and Kayla, we were talking a little minute ago that usually this is a big lunch with lots of delicious food.
Oh,
That's
delicious
right.
food.
We were a little sad to think about that, but next year. Next
Ah.
year. was good.
Yeah,
Hello,
save
everyone.
your recipes for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Good
Here's
morning.
Marion.
Thank you, Matt. We were both having trouble getting in.
Nick.
Yeah, I don't know where the link to the panelists went to in my email, but it disappeared.
Okay.
Hi,
is
Nick.
everyone- Hello. Is
Hi,
everyone here?
Yeah.
Hi, all the people who are not visible.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna finish getting us live on Facebook. So that way if anyone wants to watch us but can't get on the Zoom, they will be able to see on Facebook.
Wow.
Now, I don't see participant, other participants. Let's see. Okay, there. Let's see.
You just see the
We
number.
have 23 people,
Okay.
23 participants at
Well,
this
then I
time.
see 13 attendees. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, just give me one moment and we'll do a little intro so everyone knows what's going on. And we will be good to go.
Okay. Now, at one point when we vote for new members, let's see, I don't see. So Nosley and Valerie Robotier and Bill Taylor, William Taylor. They're all, we might want to be able to see them. So,
Okay, so do we want to upgrade them to panelists?
yeah, I guess we should. And let's see, we're saying goodbye to Linda and Kathy Shanks, who's probably already on. So maybe Linda too.
Linda Boise?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're officially live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ooh,
All right.
we're all over the place.
So welcome everyone to the Zoom annual meeting. We are using the Zoom webinar function, which allows us, obviously, as we now know, to have a limited number of people who are speaking and being seen and people who are just watching. So welcome to all of the attendees today. Just a few things. One, if you aren't speaking, please mute yourself. This is just because background noise can cut other people off. And that is not fun all the time. And the mute button will be, if you're on a computer, in the bottom left. It'll say mute, and it'll also say stop video. So if you need to turn off your video for some reason, use the bathroom, etc., that's where you can do that. you should also have a chat function on the bottom of your screen. You can chat individual panelists, the panelists are a whole, or all panelists and attendees. Do know that basically everyone can see the chat unless you are chatting someone individually, which will stay on the bottom. So just do note that. For panelists, there's a share screen option. If you need to share any charts, web pages, documents, etc., it'll have a green share screen button, which all panelists will be able to utilize. Raising your hand if you have want to make a point or not interrupt someone. There's a raise hand button. It looks like this. My hand is now raised, so I can be called on by whoever is speaking. Then the big one is the Q&A option. So attendees, if you have a question, you can type it in the Q&A. And the panelists will be able to see and answer it. Again, this is so you don't have to interrupt anyone. For panelists and for attendees, if you have a question about something being said, you can type it in there and I will read out the question to the group. And then we can, note that it's been answered either in the chat or out loud. So that's all of our functions. Additionally, we are streaming on Facebook Live again. So if anyone has anyone who wants to watch this but is not able to get into the Zoom, they can go to our Facebook page, Grace Church Millbrook, and watch it from there. So yeah, without further ado, I'll pass it off to Matt to start.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick, and thank you in particular for helping us with all the technical issues, which I'm sure we will need more help as we go along, all of us. Let me call this meeting to order at 11:17 and offer an opening prayer. We heard a little bit of these during the service today, but I'll repeat them for the parish. Almighty and ever-living God, ruler of all things in heaven and earth, hear our prayers for this parish family. Strengthen the faithful, arouse the careless, and restore the penitent. Grant us all things necessary for our common life, and bring us all to be of one heart and mind within your holy church, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And also a collect for the church. Let us pray. O God of unchangeable power and eternal light, look favorably on your whole church, that wonderful and sacred mystery. By the effectual working of your providence, carry out in tranquility the plan of salvation. Let the whole world see and know that things which were being cast down are being raised up, and things which had grown old are being made new, and that all things are being brought to their perfection by him through whom all things were made, your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God forever and ever. Amen. And again, welcome everybody. I think as we go along, different people might be elevated to become that they can be seen and heard. Others of us, in order to accommodate the number, are participants or attendees, but please feel free as an attendee to ask questions as Nick is fielding them. And Nick, I guess there's that question button at the bottom of your the Q&A, or to raise your hand and get recognized. In the beginning, in addition to welcoming, I may note that we have the vestry approved our membership list, which of active adults numbers around 200. And if we have a quorum of 10% or 20, then we have reached our quorum. And I see that we have 13 panelists, 13 attendees, 26 total. So would the clerk verify that we have a quorum?
Yes, we do have a quorum with the number of 26 at this time.
Yeah. Okay.
And that I assume is a minimum because there may be more than one person on view at each site.
That's true. That's true. And I'm sure we have more watching. So our first order of business is the election of new vestry members and warden, and we will also then follow that with a recognition of vestry members who are rotating off. We have two people rotating off, Linda Boise and Kathy Shanks. We have 3 new members to be elected and 1 member to be re-elected. Those candidates are Ron Mostel to be re-elected. And then new members include, as you might find in your annual report on the first page, by the way, Nasli Stubner. And Nasli, would you raise your hand? And Val Robaudier, are you on screen, Val? I'm not seeing you right now. And Bill Taylor, would you raise your hand, Bill? So instead of trying to do a poll for each person, I would like to make a motion to vote as a slate. And Nicholas, would you put out that poll to vote for the nominees to the vestry as a slate? And for all of those who see this now, could you click approve or disapprove? It says panelists can't vote, so the panelists can vote, but you can raise your hands, I guess. So all in favor of approving, either click your approve button or raise your hand. Okay, you want to close? Oh, and those disapproving, if you are on screen, as a panelist, raise your hand or click the disapprove button if you are in the attendee. Okay, and Nicholas, will you report on? Okay, so we've been approved, 12 from the attendees and 13 from the panelists. Next, so that motion is carried. Would you bring up the second motion? And the motion in front of us is to approve that slate of vestry nominees for a 3-year term. So all of those in favor of approving, either raise your hand or, since we can't see you, click approve.
It worked. You can hit approve on the thing now.
Oh.
Panelists can now vote on this one.
Okay, for some reason we couldn't before, but now panelists can just click on approve. Or if you disapprove, click on disapprove.
Waiting for about 7 votes.
Okay. And
Still waiting for some votes.
are there abstentions? I guess we don't have a way to calculate that other than if you haven't clicked on your approve or disapprove.
All right, we'll give them a few more seconds
Okay.
in case anyone's having a hard time voting. Still rolling in. It's like Georgia, November. All right. There you go.
Okay, our motion has been passed by unanimous, and thank you for all of those putting their hat in the ring. How about a hand for all? Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Next, I do want to recognize those members who are leaving. Oh, no, we have another motion for a couple of other offices, for a warden.
Mm-hmm.
All of those in favor of approving Marion Thompson for a 2nd term as warden, vote approve. Those disapproving, click accordingly, and then click submit.
Give about a few more seconds.
Okay. Well, it's a little closer, only 100%. Let's, thank you, Marion, for being reelected as, congratulations for being reelected as warden. And finally, we have a motion to elect diocesan delegates. Something we've not always remembered to do, but this time we will. And as last year, so this year, Evelyn and Garzetta and Barbara Rudy have agreed to continue. And those in favor of approving them as diocesan delegates, please click on approve. Those disapproving, click on disapprove and then submit. All right, thank you. And they are approved to serve at our next diocesan delegation and also to vote, I think and Allison, you might correct me if I'm wrong here, on the Mid-Hudson Regional Council elections. I think we have actually one of those. I don't know who votes for that. But
The regional assembly does, the delegates to that.
and aren't the diocesan delegates the same?
Yes, they would be eligible to vote for
Right.
whoever. Yeah.
Right.
that's
So we have actually two gatherings at which the delegates are asked to attend. One is our annual diocesan convention and one is our annual Mid-Hudson Regional convocation. And thank you for your participation. And now moving to recognition of vestry members leaving. First, I want to thank Linda. Is Linda there? Can you put your video on, Linda? Your camera or whatever. Hi, Linda. Thank you for your years of service to Grace Church. The occasion for this Thanksgiving being the end of 2 terms on the vestry. But in fact, there are any number of occasions and projects over the years that come readily to mind for which to thank you. The most recent of which is stepping up and getting it done for the Christmas cookie sale. You know how to organize and inspire a dozen bakers more. And I thank you in advance for your willingness to plan and prepare for a new program for our younger members, Godly Play, a story-based teaching method you learned years ago, and is just one of the many lessons you've learned in a lifetime of teaching and service. This is not an easy year for you or for many, but I thank God for your patience, endurance, and faith, and God bless you always. Your friend, Matthew. And we have for you a beautiful picture of the church you love and serve.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Thank you. I listened to your sermon this morning, Matt, and I have never been compared to a Canadian goose. But the analogy is not lost on me. And I thank you for that. Being on the vestry is hard work, as it is to fly in a flock. However, it has been a good experience for me, and I thank all for allowing me to be in the flock. And I just want you to know that while I probably will not be at the leading, I will still be flapping my wings. And when you land on the pond, you may choose to leave me behind, but I'm going to try really hard to keep joining. Keep getting up there. I think it's important for all of us to keep flapping our wings and to work together. And I think it's an incredibly great privilege to be on the vestry, as well as being a huge responsibility. And I know that the 3 people that are coming on the vestry certainly understand that. And at any rate, thank you. Thank you for everything. And I'm not leaving the radar.
No. And even those who go, apparently in the geese thing, if if one is a little injured or tired or drops down, they usually are accompanied by at least one other goose, just to make sure everybody's okay and they can get back up together.
Good. I need all the help I can get, trust me.
Okay, Linda? And Kathy, your 2 terms as a member of the vestry have come to an end. Thank you. But I have a question. How can we continue without you? So it's a difficult question, but thankfully it's one I don't need to answer because you've offered to continue serving as treasurer. And thank you. There's 3 thank yous. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. Thank you for your service, wisdom, can-do attitude, and knowledge of all things practical in Millbrook. Thank you for your always upbeat attitude, straightforward honesty, and the humble grace you bring to leadership. You are truly a pillar of grace. God bless you, Matthew. And also a wonderful inscribed.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank
A
you.
rainbow
And,
over Grace Church.
I like that a
Thank
lot.
you.
You're
And
welcome. And I'm not going anywhere, but yes, I'll come off the vestry again, but I'm here and I'm not as good a talker as Linda. She said that really well, but we all work well together and we're a good flock. So I'll see you around. I'm not going anywhere. Thank you.
thank you, Kathy. I can't tell you how many things I ask you, and you're always there for us. So God bless you. Our next item on the agenda is saying bye to somebody who's not been on the vestry, but the staff. And someone we all know and love, Abby Nathanson. And to be, yay, Abby. And to begin with, we've compiled, a book. I guess there's a book, right, Emma, that of photographs of your time here. But of that larger compilation, here's a small selection of pictures. Okay, Emma?
Yes, this is all Kayla.
Oh, Kayla. Sorry.
Compiled the slideshow and is gonna
Thank you,
give
Kayla.
us the words.
Okay, I'm going to pull up the slideshow. I have to share my screen. So let me do that. Okay. Actually never done this before, so I'm proud of myself for being able to do this. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Oh, where did it just go? Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to pull up the thing.
It's up at the top. It's a tab. Photo library.
Go to library.
It's up at the top as a tab. Photo library. Is that what you're?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay. I've never actually done this before. Okay, so this is the slideshow that Emma and I picked these pictures from forever ago. These are like years of Abby's time. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Amazing.
Zoe.
These were what we did all the time pre-pandemic. my time with Abby has been quite amazing. So many car rides, so many car rides in the back roads of this part of New York, late at night or early in the morning. Abby has never not amazed me with her patience for how many complaining, hungry, tired, cold teenagers she's had to drive around or spend Friday afternoons with. She's brought so much light to this community, so much hope to this community. She's been pretty amazing. Sounds like she's dead. She's not. She's definitely not. Yeah, she has a lot more to do. She's definitely not done. But something that one of the most important things I've learned from her is that that people deserve to feel like they're worth a fight. People deserve to feel like they're worth the trouble of calling a bunch of people and emailing a bunch of people and showing up to things that maybe you don't really want to go to, but you do because it's worth it in the end. And that's it more than anyone I've ever met in my life. And she doesn't complain about it, at least not to me. She doesn't complain about it. And she's never made any of us feel like we're a burden. And that's really important. She's extremely smart and she's very resourceful. One of my goals in life is to be as resourceful as Abby. She's amazing at that. And I'm gonna miss sharing snacks with her and stealing her deodorant and sharing lip balm. And I'm gonna miss those car rides. I'm gonna miss all of the things that she brought to Epic that Emma and I have continued this year and also adjusted and adapted. I mean, she's a legend. I mean, Grace Year is amazing. The fact that she just did Grace Year is amazing, and Epic is amazing. It's life-changing. I mean, this opportunity at Grace Year that I've had to have all the food I could ever want and ask for from less, and have fun and have a safe space and have my own room and my own bed, like all of those things are things that some people take for granted, but it's really easy not to have those things. A lot of people don't have them, and Grace Year is more than just a place to live and a kitchen to eat from, but like a community where I can grow and learn more about myself and about what it means to be a part of a community and take responsibility. It's a really once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's going to make me a better worker in the world. It's going to make me a better college student. It's going to make me a better family member. It's already changing me. So yeah, she's a genius. Abby is a genius. And these pictures are so sweet. And I'm very happy to have met Abby when I did as a senior in high school at Weebatuck, actually. And she's the one that told me to go to SUNY New Paltz after I graduated from DCC, which is a really great decision. I'm happy that I did that. I don't know if I would have done it if it wasn't for her being like, go to New Paltz, it's a great school. Please go to New Paltz. And she just brings so much to all of our lives every day. Even if I don't talk to her every day, I'm still completely impacted by her and everything she's done for us and continues to do for us. These are pictures from the summer. These are pictures from 2 years ago. And then tampons. I love that picture. This reminds me that Emma and all the current Grace Year cohorts need to get a picture with Abby and Matt before and Allison and Nick before the year's up. But so many memories. I can't wait to make more. I can't wait to make more with Abby.
Yeah, I also want to, as the slideshow continues, yeah, just say thank you to Abby for um, showing up when she did in my life. And I like, if you'd asked me like 3 years ago what I thought I would be doing right now, I would have gotten like an F, on the predicting the future test, because aside from the global pandemic and coming apocalypse, Allison, the way you just looked at me. I never thought that I would be, approaching my like second year of like working with Epic and for Epic. I never thought I'd be living at Grace Church. And I think that just reflects the way that Abby has of like pulling you into her projects and not letting you go. But it's only because her projects are so compelling. And it's really easy to believe in yourself, when she believes in you. So thank you so much. And we're so excited about what you're doing now.
Thank you for that slideshow, Kayla and Emma. And that was great. And before we hear a little bit from Abby, Allison, you wanted to say a few things.
Well, the pictures and what Kayla and Emma said say it all. But just as a person in the region, I just wanted to say I first heard of Epic years ago, and it sounded intriguing, engaging people in change. And then the first time I really met Abby, she had invited us to a dinner that the Epic members had put on and to tell us about their program. And I was so struck by the fact that the Epic members ran the meeting. They embodied the leadership that she was trying to teach them. And you don't see that very often, teenagers running a meeting where adults are invited. And the next time I sort of saw them in action was when I served on the board of Episcopal Charities. And it's a great organization, but very intimidating boardroom. They meet at a downtown Midtown Manhattan law firm with a 35-foot long conference table. I was intimidated there, but this little group of Epic members came cruising in with Abby, and they presented just full of poise and self-confidence and leadership to the board, and the board was blown away. And I found out only later that some of those young people had never been to New York City before, let alone, and some hadn't even ridden an elevator. And then Grace Year, again, we heard in the region that there was going to be this thing called Grace Year, and could everybody please donate to furnish the rooms? And little did I know that I would subsequently be invited to be part of it. And again, the leadership that comes forward to see, Kayla come up as an Epic member and now be part of Grace Year, to see all the fellows take on leadership, and, Nick working as he is with the church, and Eliza, let alone the ones that have gone into the diaspora. But Abby, it all reflects your vision, and I think it's a biblical vision of giving voice to the voiceless and letting a child lead. Blessed are, the meek and the children, and you have that ingrained in you, and you share that with everyone through your generosity. And so lastly, St. Paul once wrote in a letter to the Corinthians, one of the little churches that he founded, he said, "You are my letter of recommendation." Abby, we are your letter of recommendation. And we recommend you heartily, and are so proud that you're off to the larger church to help the wider Episcopal Church. And we miss you.
Well, Abby, you have a wonderful set of statements and pictures there. What do you think?
I agree. Are you saying that I should talk now?
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for this experience. Nor was I prepared for the experience of working at Grace Church. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense that it sort of concludes how it began. I was kind of sad when all the vestry members were like, "Oh, like I'm stepping down, but I'll still be here." And I don't get to still be there, but I'm happy that so many things get to keep going, because Kayla is joining an advisory committee for the new youth grant making board that I'm making. And Nick is joining the advisory committee for my new job at the diocese. And so is Deanna Reyes, if you know her. So it's fun for me. And Emma will be invited to something eventually too, if you so choose. And so it's fun for me to keep coming up with things and then pulling people from Grace Church Millbrook along with me. And for those who don't know, sorry, I just got a question. For those who don't know, at the beginning of 2020, I was like, I know it's time for me to like move on. I'd been living in the Hudson Valley since the beginning of 2010, when I moved to Poughkeepsie for college. And I didn't know where to go, and I couldn't really fathom not working in the church, but I also knew that I needed to be in a bigger place. And we didn't know how it would work out. And then Matt found this grant opportunity that's wildly competitive and massive and requires a ton of resources to complete that we did not have. And so he called me and I was in my kitchen. This was like right before the pandemic, I think. And he was like, what would you do if we got $1 million to do a project? And I told him, and he added to it and wrote it down. And then that set the ball rolling and a lot of more things happened. And then we got it. And so now my new job in the Diocese of New York is managing this project called Episcopal Futures, which is in no small part modeled after Epic and Grace Year, because I think those two ministries really embody like the direction that we want to move in for a lot of our parishes. So we will be inviting many more parishes from around the diocese to participate in that. And I'm excited. And I now live at General Theological Seminary in Chelsea, in the city, where I am starting classes next Monday, but not for an MDiv, which is the degree that priests get, just for a master's, just because I figured it was time to start learning some of the things about this institution that I'm now in my 7th year of working in. And I still have my email address, abby@gracemillbrook.org. So everyone can still contact me. It'll respond to you and say like, I'm not there, contact Nick or Matt or Allison or Kayla or Emma, but I still check it. Oh, thank you, Nick. I still check it. So if you want to contact me, I do look at it like 3 times a week. So because it's important to me to stay in touch, because my time in Millbrook was very much like an era, and it was never just like a job. It was like an era from ages 23 to 29 in my life. And so I don't really know what to say to encapsulate it, other than that I'm very glad that it happened. And thank you to everyone who took so many risks in believing in me and the ministries like way before they were cool or successful. And I hope that you all continue to do great things with these ministries and more.
Well, thank you, Abby. And I'll just say, I have many things that would echo those. And one thing though, in departing, Abby, we were saying, Abby, would you like a parting, gift, something to help you in your move? And she said, well, I'm okay on that score, but we decided to start a fund that would help the kids in Epic in their costs that going for college or for other application sort of expenses. So we've started a restricted account. It's called technically the Abby Nathanson Scholarship Fund for students of Epic, but we'll call it Abby's Fund. And I hereby notify the congregation that from the rector's discretionary, we've started it with a $1,000 gift. And we would appreciate others to contribute to it. This fund will be discretionarily given to members of Epic based on the director's recommendations for those expenses associated with taking next steps on their path. There's always a number of small expenses, and it's a wonderful idea to help these kids, many of whom would not even contemplate applying to college before this program, but for whom it's a real horizon lifter. So thank you, Abby. And for those next rooms that you're offering in, we have a beautiful cross from Mexico. It's got flowers and birds, and it will grace and protect wherever you are in your wanderings from here on. So thank you, and a well-deserved many, many rounds of applause. Thank you for your years of service with us. You can contribute to the fund by contacting Kathy Shenks, and she will make it happen. moving on to other items in our agenda. We do have the annual report in a package available at the back of the church, and of course it's online. It includes the rector's report, the warden's report, the financial reports, and many of the and all of the different ministries. So it makes for, I think, an encouraging read, because it was a challenging year, but we got through it. And in particular, at the annual meeting, we usually only report verbally on one, and that's how we're doing, how the year was financially, and what the budget is moving forward. And for that, I will pass on to Kathy.
Well, thank you. I don't get the fun stuff, right? I get the numbers.
No.
Numbers are real. That's what I do. Okay. So in case you don't know me, my name's Kathy Shanks. I've been at Grace Church for about 30 years and treasurer for about 8. In addition to me, we do have a finance committee, which is made of Father Matt, Kurt Barnes, Larry, and the wardens. You'll see in the report, it's very detailed, but just quickly on the income, our pledge plate and regular support. We did not meet our budget, but we trust this is due to COVID and related to the inability for us to attend, in person like we normally do. We will get there. We did an outstanding job with our fundraising, but didn't hit our goals, but that's okay too. We did an outstanding job. When we're back in person, we'll hit those goals. We do some program income. We got 50% of what we thought, but that's okay too. The reason the operating, and just for you guys to know, we have an operating budget and then we have our program budgets. Our operating budget does look quite well. So you're like, Kathy, why are you saying these negative things? Well, we did get the PPP loan, which is the payroll protection program, of which we got over 62,000, 50,000 went into operating, other ones went into the other programs. But the biggest thing out of that was we maintained all of our employees. That's incredible. And that is something that I strive for. We got to keep working. We work towards the goals. So bottom line there is, again, our expenses were a little high in some areas. Like I said in the report, our facility's not getting any younger, so we had some maintenance items. We did have an increase in music because we pay for these beautiful voices because we can't be there in person, which is, again, helping people, which is great. And the insurance one, which I have to mention it because that's part of me. We paid our January 1st payment in December, so it looks even larger, but it's on target. The good thing was too, we had income come in the end of December that our bookkeeper, I'll call him David Swift, didn't get into January, but that added about another $8,000. So again, if you look at the bottom, we are a positive, but you can add about another 8,700. Additionally, there's historical information over the last, I don't have it in front of me. Well, I do, but I'd have to flip to it. 5 years, I think it was. And we've had some negatives, but our last group of 4 have been positive. We also do pull off our investments. You'll see our investment portfolios there, and we call them dividends. We pull out what gets increased. Obviously, the market was very good in 2020, so our balances are very, very good at this point. Then we have all our non-operating. We have the preschool, we have Epic, we have Grace Year, and then we have Geo. And they held their own. They've done very good. A lot of them have their own source of income. So they've done fantastic in a very difficult environment. So those are positives. I will have to say there's a little, not so good news if you look at the budget. The budget shows a large deficit, but we've overcome those in the past too. But we're presenting it fairly. So we've struggled with this, but are presenting, and we did approve a budget with a deficit. We will monitor it and make any changes that we think we have to do, but hopefully, biggest thing, keep those pledges coming, keep that income coming, and this little church can do everything that we just heard about. So if there are any questions, somehow you can do it through Nick and I'll try to answer them. Or Father Matt, throw anything else in that I
Well,
didn't.
thank you, Kathy. I think that covered it pretty well, but are there any questions, Nick, that have come in, or does anybody?
So no questions have come in on the chat. Again, on the bottom kind of tab, there is a questions option. Or if you can't figure it out, feel free to type in the chat.
And you can always reach out to me through the office. Somebody can get me if you want to ask me offline. That is totally fine.
Well, thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Vestry, for the hard work of putting the budget together in the Finance Committee, and thank all of you who give and donate for the support of this church. It's been a difficult year, I think, for all kinds of businesses and not-for-profits and things, but we've gotten through, and let's look forward to renewed growth and strength through the strategic plan that we've developed during the year, and move forward trying to grow in membership, leadership, attendance, in spiritual depth, and in regional impact. That's the 3 goals. Thank you. And I'm going to pass this on to Catherine and Marion as for a warden's report. Have anything to say? You'd have to unmute first.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I will be very brief. You know, I wrote a little warden's report, which you can read in the annual report. Now, I would just like to take this brief time to say that we all realize that we've been very challenged by this COVID pandemic. And I just want to say thank you very much to Matt, who has been so innovative and so hardworking and so clever and flexible in adjusting to the various circumstances. We've had online, we've had outside, we've had inside with windows open, you know, and now we're back online. And that kind of flexibility is just wonderful. And I want to also say thank you to Suzanne and Heather for the music as well as the soloists. Thank you so much to Alex, who's done all the technical. And that's not trivial. I know that's not trivial, and I'm sure other people have helped. And thank you to the lay readers. So, and the ushers when there was a time for ushers. So all of those people have worked to make our worship ongoing and meaningful. Second of all, I want to thank the vestry, who have every month reached out to members of the congregation so that we can all stay in touch. And I think that's important, very important. We don't want people to feel isolated, and we need to keep doing that. But I really thank the vestry for that. And finally, you know, fundraising was very challenging. How do you have a golf tournament? No, you can't do that. How do you have a cookie sale? You have to reinvent it. And so particularly, I thank Linda Boise and other members who were so hardworking and creative in coming up with alternative fundraising possibilities. Oh, I should mention Kathy Shanks, who sort of headed up the sidewalk rummage sale that we had. So all of these people have been adjusting to our new situation, and they all deserve our thanks.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you for your flexibility and leadership. Marion, would you add anything at this point?
Well, I'll talk a little bit about the music, and that was amazing. I was really impressed with the technological side of things that Suzanne managed to pull together with Nick's help and with some other people's help, mixing together professional and Grace choir voices to come up with a wonderful Christmas program. And it was not as interesting to rehearse by oneself, but it was less embarrassing. You could practice your part and nobody could hear you. That worked out well. And then when she sent us the actual tapes, we could sing with the tape and record ourselves at the same time. I'd have my headphones on and I'd be hearing the pros, and then I'd be adding my little voice to the mix. And it really worked out well. I thought it worked out well. And Greg, who was our male voice, who did some wonderful solos, and Melissa was fabulous. All those soloists were great. And of course, Alex got it all out there to us and to the congregation. And I was really amazed at what people can do when the crunch comes. So thank you to Suzanne and to all the professionals who helped out, and also to the choir members who rehearsed under less than exciting circumstances to produce a wonderful sound.
Indeed. And, this was Suzanne's first year, about 3 weeks in, I don't know, not long after coming in, the whole COVID thing hit. And so she really had to scramble. We thank also Heather Holohan Guarnieri, who did wonderful work and
Yes, thanks to Heather.
kept with her kids and did a few wonderful sort of dramatic renditions of the gospel when we were outside. And so we look forward to this coming year for both of them to be able to return to the church and to active in person. That was, that was really something to try to get through this year. But as we move forward, I'm very hopeful. We have great staff. We have a great vestry, a great group of volunteers, and all of you who are members know that. And it is, we're not always agreeing with each other on every single thing, but I think, as Doug used to say, we're here not because we agree with each other, but because we care about each other. And who doesn't have bumpy rides these days? I guess that's the way it's going to be too. This is not you can take it in stride type of era. You have to constantly be thinking about what's coming next. The culture is changing fast. We have to be somebody in the middle who tries to pull people together across divides and include as many as we can. So part of our initiatives will be reaching out, as you saw through EPIC and other means, to those who have recently arrived through Grace Immigrant Outreach and other ways, to the Spanish-speaking population, and to those who have arrived more recently, moving north, for instance, with their families. We want to try to incorporate new families. And so we have a lot of plans for children and family. Allison and I are doing some planning. As I mentioned, Linda is part of that, and we have a new member who wants to help. We've been doing some online outreach to the non-Grace group in the World Religion program that the Grace Year Fellows have helped, Eleanor in particular. So I want to thank her for that. So I'm excited about new ways. Bill Taylor and I have talked about trying to grow our congregation online, because it's not only going to be the people who show up on Sunday that count anymore. This year, when I did my worship report, I looked not only at who was in church, but who watched. So we counted, I think, Nick, maybe you can correct me, unique visits or something like that. How many views did we have of our service? And we collated that together. Often we had 3 to 5 maybe at the service. We had 3 today. But we might have had 40 to 70, sometimes 100 watching online. And if we can continue that, and in our programming, there's no reason why some people can't attend a spiritual formation program from North Carolina or Florida. Indeed, Diana, who's on our vestry and who is in our Wednesday Bible study and prayer group, has recruited, we have 3 new members, all of them in different states, North Carolina and so on. And so it's a new world. I hope we can adapt. Episcopal Futures that Abby was mentioned is all about trying to think through this and to adapt also collaboratively across the region. So we have plans to work with St. Thomas and Dover Plains and elsewhere to think about how we can work regionally, including continuing the work that Abby started with the Tri-Town Coalition and the possibility of a cafe in Millerton. Who knows what can happen in the future? So let's keep trying new things and holding on to the essentials, our love of Christ, our proclamation of the gospel, and our fellowship of mutual love and care. And with that, unless there's questions or comments that need attending, I'll try to wrap it up in that 45-minute Zoom window, beyond which it seems to stretch forever. Let me close. Yes.
I was just saying, I think one thing I want to thank everyone for is how much people have stepped up over this last couple of months. Both as, you know, someone who was a fellow when this first hit, the support we got as fellows in Grace Year 2 from everyone in the church during a really difficult time, to have moved, you know, been new to an area, new to a community. I think, you know, without the support from Matt, from the vestry, from everyone, you know, all the congregation, it would have made the whole process really, really hard. So I just want to, you know, now that we're all in this kind of setting, and thanking everyone for everything, the work everyone put in to make us feel welcome during a really difficult time was amazing. And then also, I think, just as someone who has been in church for a really long time, 25 years now, I was really impressed with everything everyone had been doing, from the fundraising standpoint, from the community building standpoint. I know I put in the chat, but like ML Ball taught a wonderful class on evangelism that was really great. The way Linda and Pam made this event, the fundraiser happen when everything was pushing against them, was just really impressive. And I think now that we do have, as I was saying, now that we do have all these resources with us, kind of what we can do has really been opened. And I'm looking forward to the next year to see all the impressive things that the Grace Church Millbrook community is able to pull together.
Thank you, Nick. Grace Year Fellow, Assistant Director of Grace Year, and lifelong Episcopalian, 25 years, there you go. And so some of us might have been in Grace Church for 25 years or more. Some of us might just be recent, but a wonderful group of people. I thank you all for being part of this annual meeting. I'm going to ask the Reverend Allison to offer a blessing.
May God bless all of us. May God give us strength, inspiration, and guidance to carry out God's will. May we be a force for good in the world. May we reach out our hands and welcome to all people. May we speak truth and work for justice. And may we support one another on this journey of faith. Thank you for all the gifts that have been given, for all the people who make up this body, this part of the body. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
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 Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
God. And the meeting is now adjourned at 12:07. Thank you all. God bless you.